Wait. Yeah, I'm just gonna turn it on now. Yeah, that's right. I turn on phantom power in the middle of everything. That's right. I shouldn't have done. Let me look at that pop. There it is. That's electricity coming into a microphone. I should have waited or did that beforehand. But who cares? I don't care about breaking my things. They won't.
You don't care about the money that you put into them?
They won't break. Phantom power's fine.
The couple hundreds of dollars.
Phantom power's harmless. Put it through a ribbon mic. You're fine.
That's why it's called phantom. It's not really there. It's fake.
It's fake power.
Fake power. Created by the media.
The globalists. Hey guys, this is the last episode podcast. I'm not going to do that. Hey guys, this is the last episode podcast. My name is Lewis.
Hello, I am Andreas.
Hi, San Andreas.
Yeah.
The video game. Which I bought on my phone recently.
I destroyed LA in 1923 or whatever that happens.
Oh.
Remember the big earthquake?
Wasn't
that broke a city?
Wasn't that in
was it San Francisco or was it LA?
The San Andreas fault thing?
Yeah, there was an earthquake that pretty much broke half a city.
That was in LA.
That was in LA?
Yeah.
That was me. Whatever that was, I did that.
Ow!
I had too many Alka-Seltzers, and I did a little toot, and then I killed a couple thousand people.
Now I
know,
and
made us make technology to fix the earthquake problem.
Now I know that getting your braces tightened shouldn't affect horizontal movement with your mouth.
Okay, where are you going with this?
But I just hit my teeth on the microphone.
So did your brain forget how to move your head forward when you tighten your braces?
Yeah, I guess so.
It tightened so hard like it erased some of your neurons.
Yeah, pretty much. I also forgot to put compression on, so I'm gonna do that now as I talk and not talk about it. So that way no one knows that I forgot to turn on compression. Yay.
Someone should count for you how many times you've forgotten to put on compression, and you do it during the podcast.
It's such an easy thing.
There was a point you did it like a half hour in. I remember that. Yeah. We were like a half hour and it's like, oh yeah, there's
I wasn't looking at my screen, and then I look at my screen and it was just like square wave.
You're like, oh.
It was just a brick because I think I had it like way too much or something, and I didn't realize it, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
See, we don't have a guy we can tell to go, hey, fix the levels.
No, I'm that guy.
Yeah, and also a host, so it causes problems.
Well, my thing is that I could do this after the fact. I could do. I do. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plugins per track, and then I have a mix track which has 4 plugins on it. So I'm doing stuff.
Lewis, we don't have a guy on the other side of the glass who can say, hey, turn the beat up on my headphones. We have no one we can do that to. That sucks.
I kind of want to. So, okay, Google, you can change your. You can make custom voice commands. I kind of want to do, hey, turn the beat up in my headphones for start music or something.
Yeah, open Spotify.
That would be awesome. Thank you, Android, for.
I didn't know that was a feature, and now I'm gonna do that when I get home.
Please do that.
I have dumb ideas right now.
Yeah, it worked. It works pretty well actually.
Because the jokes with Siri, where it's you can have Siri call you a name, that was funny.
Yeah.
But it's we have voice technology for a long time now. Can we do something extra dumb with that?
Yeah, you just
because it's legitimately I want science to get better so I can fuck around with it more.
Yeah.
That's why the only reason I gave a shit about smart smartwatches being a thing, because that means we're closer to the age of we have Power Rangers watches.
Yeah, we're getting close to
the Kim Possible.
We're getting scary close to the her age. There's a lot of games coming out.
That's why her is very scary.
Yeah, there's a lot of games coming out that are AI, that adaptive AI, to where you can talk to them and have conversations, and it starts to learn more about you and what kind of jokes you like and things that you.
Did you hear about I think it was about a year or 2 years ago where this Japanese ad where it was a virtual. Kind of like Alexa or whatever, one of those things. Mm-hmm. But it was a hologram device where it's an anime girl who greets you when you come home and you can talk to her. And it's and it links to your devices in your house.
Yeah, that sounds like a thing that exists.
And I want that.
Yeah.
But if that becomes a standard thing in people's homes, then the Futurama reality of that nobody has sex with each other anymore and they just date robots will be a real thing.
Yeah.
We're not that far off now
we're not.
With VR technology.
Yeah.
But once physical items let you just talk to fake people in your homes and make you coffee, then we're done.
Yeah.
But then we can say funny stuff to our robots, and then we're good.
The end is nigh.
But it's going to be pretty cool.
The end is nigh, but rad.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys follow us on Instagram at The Last Episode Podcast, Twitter at Last Episode Pod, ask us things, lastcastask@gmail.com. ELO Talk's doing this. The guys
you just call them ELO Talk?
I know.
Like their electric orchestra?
Yeah, I know.
That's all that website's about, guys.
Yeah.
It's just an ELO fan page from the 90s that's been resurrected.
I know, that's why
and the podcast about games on there, because I don't know.
Yeah. So,
who knew ELO fans were really also into FF14 and Overwatch?
Yeah.
Who knew?
Really into FF14.
Who knew?
Who knew? So the ELO Talk guys are currently at PAX. as we speak, and they are doing interviews with people, which will be on their podcast.
Because the best part about PAX is, man, there are a lot of cool indie games that are there every year.
So there's going to be a lot of cool podcast interviews and stuff, audio interviews. So
I'd love to go to PAX one day, honestly.
Yeah, I'm so happy that they were like they actually have like I see Mish with like her
media stuff.
Yeah, she has like it says like it's like the little badge and it says like
press
Mitch whatever press for Elo Talk, and I was like that's super rad
because PAX, for better and for worse, actually more for better, has gotten so big that there's so many games there now, but on the inverse, there's not enough people to cover all of them. Because
that's
there's
why they've been making a lot of these open.
Yeah, because there's so many interesting, weird games that are at PAX that they show off, but it's like they don't get the coverage because there's just not enough human beings or enough time to go see them all.
So all you like nerds who watch a lot of YouTubers, how many times do you watch like two YouTubers talk and they're like, yeah, did you see this game? And they're like, no, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. Because there was like 100 games on
PAX.
one. Because PAX has multiple floors of games.
Yeah.
That's kind of the good and bad thing about
it's
PAX.
Literally like 20 games per floor. Like that's not even, that's on the low end.
And you'll see like maybe 10 in a day. If that's all you do at PAX, which most people don't because they're doing everything else at PAX.
Yeah. The parties and
the panels, the events. The little like, hey, we're having like BioShock had an anniversary thing at PAX.
Yeah, I heard about that. What
Did you see the statue they launched as well?
The what?
They're launching a statue for the anniversary.
See, no, I just heard that happened
because it was like just like a hey, let's talk about how cool BioShock is because it's been around for like a decade now, stuff like that. And
that's
they announced
crazy.
a really cool BioShock statue of the Big Daddy, and it's really nice looking. It's expensive because it looks so nice.
That's rad.
But BioShock is pretty cool.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's
kind of a good game.
I'm fine with that series not coming back anymore because I think it's done what it can. Because I kind of don't want it revisited in the setting that we all like.
I think BioShock, because of the way BioShock Infinite ends.
Oh, they could. I just don't want them to.
They did like the Doctor Who thing of made it to where we can keep this on forever and it'd be fine.
But a lot of those people who made those games aren't working at 2K anymore. They're at whole different companies.
No,
now.
yeah, well,
which is why I wouldn't want them to do
2K has changed,
anymore.
which is why 2K games are weird now.
This was like a weird like BioShock game on the Vita that never came out.
It never came out. Yeah, so
like there's weird stuff like that.
There's when the Vita was getting launched, like it's kind of like how Skyrim was like in the trailer for the Switch.
But that said, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Even though it was anyways, which is a weird half-life from both people.
Yeah. It's the same situation with BioShock. Like there was like ads that BioShock, you were able to play BioShock on the go.
Yeah.
And like there was a huge thing when the Vita was coming out, and then it never happened. But now the Vita's dead, and it never happened.
And we found out like I think what it was like some kind of RPG actually.
No, it was supposed to be BioShock 1.
Really?
Yeah, it was supposed to be.
I heard rumors about it being like some weird RPG.
No, they were supposed to port over BioShock 1 to the Vita, and they never did.
That would have been really hard.
No, they have it on freaking mobile.
How does it look and run?
You can play it on your iPhone.
I wouldn't want to play BioShock 1 on my phone.
It works fine. It's an old game, and it's actually not that hard to run.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks not that bad. You can actually play it on iOS, and it's not on Android. They said that they was going to put it to Android, and they never did. How dare you?
That's a lot of apps, though.
Yeah,
we're going to port it to Android sometime, and then the devs.
It's way easier to make games on Android than iOS. Why? God, you make more money on iOS, but still.
Gotta follow the money, man.
Gotta follow that. Hey,
we're a business.
So yeah, what were they talking about?
PAX.
Sure. What's happening at PAX?
Cool boys you enjoy made a cool ad for a cool game.
Yeah, the Game Grumps boys, specifically one boy
who have like the coolest amiibo display I've ever seen.
The what?
Their amiibo display.
Oh yeah, you saw their.
Yeah, I saw when you sent it to me. The ad that they made for it.
No, well but did you see their house tour?
No, I don't watch their stuff.
Okay, watch their. They made a Game Grumps like building tour. It's really rad. It's actually surprised. Like there's a lot of stuff in there that they just don't talk about. But when you look at it, it's like, why don't you talk about these? They have a Portal themed bathroom.
Yeah, because they can.
Yeah, and it's like that's just a thing they wanted to do. They didn't want to advertise it. They just like, no, we made this and it's cool.
Yeah, because it's for them. That's why.
Yeah. So, but they have that amiibo wall.
Mm-hmm.
Like they talked about that. They have every amiibo.
Yeah, which nowadays is not incredibly difficult. It's just time consuming.
It's time consuming, and there's a lot of money involved in that.
Yeah, overall.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the Game Grumps boys made an ad for Yacht Club games for the new Shovel Knight amiibos.
which is a 3-pack of Spectre Knight, Plague Knight, and King Knight.
Yay!
I would settle for just like one of the three, honestly.
I'm
glad they're all coming in one.
I think
pack.
Plague Knight looks the best.
Yes, for sure.
I wish they did Spectre Knight in his floaty form.
Yeah, but
not his.
But for amiibo, for like to keep amiibos at their cost, it would be too hard to do that.
It'd be too hard,
which sucks.
And then also, I think they're trying to do the characters that you play as. Yeah. Right. So, and then when you play Spectre Knight, you play in his walkie form, not his floaty form.
I like you call it the walkie form.
I don't know what to call him.
Yeah, I don't know if it has a name, but I like walkie form. We're going with that now.
Yeah. So, it just Spectre Knight looks like his design is so cool when he's floating. Yeah. Like, just that long cape that
he very Ninja Gaiden-esque.
Well, that's the point. Yeah. That's what he is.
Well, the Shovel Knight is kind of based off of all those kind of platformers from the NES era.
Yeah, no, that's what it's a mixture of. What Shovel Knight is like if all those games did everything right.
Yeah, with modern insights into their design.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, with that old game, modern insight. There you go.
Which is what Ukulele did not do.
No, they did.
And that's why
they tried to make a game as if it came out back then. And
but and then they just didn't fix the problems that those old games had.
No, they made them worse.
Because those old platformers were hard, but sometimes they were hard in ways that just made it not fun to play.
It made it hard, but I could get over the camera. I can't get over the camera in Ukulele. Yeah. And that's a problem in a 3D platformer. If I can't use your camera, I can't jump on a thing.
But at least there's a snake who's called Trouser Snake, and he wears pants.
Yeah, sure.
That's a very good joke.
Cool.
I got that out of it.
He's a cool character.
And I do like the main characters, Ukulele.
The game looked cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of like
we're getting really good amiibos that look. Every time we get new amiibos announced, they look better every time.
Ukulele is a lot like communism, guys. It looks cool. Just never works.
And you lose all your money because you spent money on the Kickstarter? Is that where you're going with this?
Yeah, just like communism.
Sure.
You guys didn't know that the Soviet Union was a Kickstarter program?
It's as bad as like the pay for me to be able to sue my son on Kickstarter.
Yeah. Is that a thing?
I think that was a thing.
I'm sure it is.
Like help me put my son in jail. Here's my Kickstarter.
Oh my God.
Some like dumb gag one like that.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
What else? So yeah, those amiibos, they unlock
one of them was like helper fairies.
Yeah, helper fairy, which I don't even know what that is.
I think it's probably like a new mechanic or something.
Well, they have it for the original Shovel Knight amiibo.
Original.
The original Shovel Knight amiibo. I guess
I'll come back now.
I think what it does.
That's what King Knight sounds like. Canon. That's his accent.
In game.
Yeah.
I think what the helper fairy does, I think it just kind of collects loot for you.
Oh, like
and I think it'll dig up piles for you.
And then I saw like one thing was like it gives like King Knight different sets of armor.
Yeah, well, yeah,
which is cool.
Each of these 3 amiibos give each character armor that you can put on top of your armor that gives you things. So say you have the like Shovel Knight's red armor that makes it to where you drop half loot when you die.
Yeah.
You can now have it to where you can have that as a different color.
Oh, you can just like change.
Because like I'm playing Shovel Knight right now on my Switch and I just have that armor. That's why I know what that armor does. And I'm just like, cool, I like what that does. I don't like losing all my loot when I die. But it's red. And it's Shovel Knight. I want it to be blue.
Yeah.
Especially when the villains talk to you and they're like, oh yeah, the blue guy. And it's like, I'm red.
Yeah, I'm wearing like I'm wearing green
red.
or red right now.
But yeah, so that amiibo thing looks cool, and I'm excited for that. I'm also very excited for more Shovel Knight things. King Knight's coming out next year, and man, that means Shovel Knight's over.
Yeah, after like what 3.5 years.
I know I know, but it's weird. I don't know. I like Shovel Knight.
Well, it's one of the few games where it's like the continued development doesn't make me sad. Because like Kickstarter, it's like, okay, we finished the game, but we still have more shit to finish because we promised you guys these things.
So we made a game. We made the base game.
But all the extra content that they promised has been good.
Yeah.
All of it. Which is a nice surprise because most Kickstarters don't get that.
Although, on the King Knight thing, they're doing a weird card game battle.
I didn't see what that plays like.
I don't know what it plays like, but that's not what I want.
It could be neat.
Because I heard one person say, I heard Switchforce say that there's going to be local fighting co-op. Or fighting, not co-op, fighting.
That was promised in Kickstarter like a long time ago.
Yeah, so you can play as one of the whatever character, and the other friend plays another character, and you fight, and that's what I want. I don't care about no card game. It better not it better not be like, oh yeah, what we meant is card games. Like, no, it's not what you meant.
Well, they never not said that.
I know, but that's not what I want.
Yeah.
I want to be able to play as.
To be fair,
Plague Knight
you didn't pay for the Kickstarter, so you can't complain that much.
Fair enough. Did you pay for the Kickstarter?
No.
All right.
Because by the time I saw it, I was like, well, I'm broke right now and this sucks. But then I got funded just in time because I just told people, hey, go check this game out.
Fair enough. I would have paid for it
The only Kickstarter I've ever funded was the Wakfu dub.
What the hell?
It's a very good French flash animated cartoon.
All right.
And it had a nice, solid, small fan base that I was a part of for a long time.
Interesting.
I said, hey, we want to do a dub. And I funded it mainly just to get the Blu-ray in my hands because ordering from France. Also, I got two art books and an oversized shirt out of it and a nice soundtrack CD and some bonus shit with it because I paid like $100. The dub wasn't too hot. It's on Netflix at least now because of that dub. But if anyone wants to watch Wakfu and wants to know what the fuck I'm talking about, it is on Netflix.
All right.
Put it in French. The subtitles on.
Got it.
Because some parts of the dub are good, like the villain's dub is really good. But I'm not a fan of the dub's direction.
Is it just not localized well?
No, I don't think it's directed very well.
Okay, so it has nothing to do with like the translation or anything.
No, and it sucks because one of the actors for the French does speak English, and I'm like, just let him do it. But they got this. It's not the quality that I wanted. But I still recommend people watch Wakfu because I love that series it comes from. But if you're ever gonna check it out, it's on Netflix. Put it in French, please, please. It works better that way. And there's way too many food jokes for it to not translate in English.
I've never...
It's not that popular, so I'm not surprised you don't even know what the name is.
I've never donated to any Kickstarter.
You ever thought about it for any... And after all these years?
I've wanted to. I wanted to donate to Double Knight, but I was like, I don't know. I've always wanted to like support like a Patreon for certain people, but it's just like, I don't know.
Don't have the income.
Yeah. One day.
For me, it was like Wakfu such a small goddamn series. I got to. This is for the fans.
Fine. I mean, I've supported like for Human Peoples, I've bought stuff from, which was SourceFed's like clothing company. I bought the SourceFed pin, just I was like, oh, you guys got canceled and 40 people are fired. Well, I can kick you guys $15 or whatever for a pin.
Yeah, for memories.
Yeah, and that was cool. So you said you were doing something this week, watching something or playing. What were you doing this week?
I've been for the past, I guess, couple months.
That's more than a week.
No.
Yes.
Twin Peaks season... No, because it's not about what I watched.
Okay.
Twin Peaks season 3 has been running.
Yeah. Okay.
And a couple years ago, I got into some of David Lynch's stuff, and I watched a couple of his films, and then I was watching Twin Peaks for a while. I watched most of season 1, and then it just kind of stopped because I heard from people that season 2 isn't really that great, and it goes on for too long, and you find who the killer is way too fast, because it's a murder mystery.
Okay.
The whole premise is small town full of some kind of weird people. And the question of the whole show that all the mysteries are wrapped around is who killed Laura Palmer, some girl in this town who everyone seemed to know for various reasons.
Okay.
Simple premise, and it branches out from there like a drama.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Season 3 is out. I owe it to at least... I want to check it out really badly because David Lynch doesn't make a lot of shit anymore because he's old. Okay. And he just doesn't like... He's kind of one of those directors where he'll just make things on his own whim because he wants to, not because he has to.
Cool.
So I was like, you know what? I've heard weird things about season 3, but like in a good way. Like they feel like his movies. But from what I remember from season 1, I was like, it doesn't feel like it's a David Lynch thing because it's him and I think Mark Frost.
Rob Wahlberg.
Yeah, Rob Wahlberg of Wahlburgers fame. He made it with someone else. He directed the series, but he wrote it and with someone else.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what? I need to finish season 1. Let's just start from the beginning. And that's all I've been doing for the past couple weeks is watching season 1. And season 1, I was like, you know what? This show's a lot better than I remember. The writing's really solid. I love the mysteries of the people. I'm attached to these kind of interesting characters, but they're not as kooky as I remember them being, as the people told me. And I finished season 1. It's like, okay, season 1, pretty good. Ends on a nice little cliffhanger. Season 2's right here. Season 2, I looked at it for myself. It is like almost triple the length of the original season. And the minute I watched the first scene of season 2, I was like, oh, I kind of get why people don't like the second season.
Oh.
Because season 1 ends on there was a bunch of events happened in one night in the town. And the end of the episode, someone gets shot, and then it cuts to black.
Oh, okay.
So it's a cliffhanger for that.
Got it.
And the very first scene in season 2 is literally like seconds after that happened. The character's lying on the floor. A person walks in, and he goes, I brought your milk. Where do you want me to put it? It's like an old man.
All right.
And he's like, it's like a very slow drawn out scene where she's like, sir, if you don't get up, the milk will get warm.
What?
No, like the milk will get cold. Please tend to it when you can.
What? And
this person's bleeding on the ground and they're just kind of sitting there, but they're really calm about it. And then my favorite part about it, which I can pretty much tell if you like his style, is when you turn this off.
All right.
Is he walks out the door, he's like, okay, enjoy your whatever. He's walking out, the old man. And he looks at him at the character on the floor, does a thumbs up. The character does a thumbs up to him back. He turns around, walks out, walks back into the door frame, does it again. It hangs like a half a minute. Walks out, comes back, does it again, and nods one more time.
All right.
And then says something kind of cryptic, and then just walks away. And then the character hallucinates a big giant man in his room. And I was like, oh, now I know why people don't like this season, because I think what happened here, I have to look at this for myself. I think season 1 did really well. And then they said, you know what, David Lynch, we'll let you do more with this show. And then he went, oh, you want me to do more with this show, huh? Let me just do my weird bullshit with drawn out scenes and stupid characters that make no sense. Because season 2 is where it gets weird. People kind of go off the wall. There are like these other weird side plots that are just crazy. And people show their true, even more bizarre. It's fucking nuts compared to this first season. Because the first season feels like just a contemporary kind of like drama with like maybe like one or two little odd characters on the side. But then you learn way more about them. And like, oh, everyone in this town except for like 2 people are just crazy. They are nutso out here in Twin Peaks. And I love that shit. I was like, there we go. There's a David Lynch shit that I wanted. But I can kind of tell why people were like, man, fuck this. Because that opening scene, I was laughing like, oh my God, this is where people threw it out. Right here. I can see what's going on.
Yeah.
Because I was laughing at how ridiculous it was. But I'm like, if you didn't like that kind of shit, I could have got why you got so mad about it. Because the series takes kind of like a tone shift there. Where the way like scenes are directed, it changes. And I love how weird it got. But it goes from just like a normal TV show with like a couple weird people into just experimental scenes. And I've heard the newest series, someone described it like a scene in it. Well, like not the scene, but what David Lynch did was like, okay, David Lynch went so up his own ass, he came out of his own mouth. And I love every second of it. Okay. Someone said there's a scene, an episode in the new season where there's almost just no dialogue. It's like almost like a silent film.
Okay.
And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean for a series like this?
Yeah.
And I'm so curious to see what that even is. So I'm loving Twin Peaks right now because I kind of got what I always wanted from that series. I just didn't get to the season that I actually would liked better, where shit gets off the walls.
So it seems like each season is just like its own thing.
Well, it seems like season 3 is like really what David Lynch, season 3 and I guess season 2 is what he really wanted to do. But then the other the other writer was like, we need to make this for humans who want to understand stories.
I understand.
Because if you've seen things like have you ever seen any of his films like Eraserhead or
no.
He kind of makes things difficult and kind of weird because he likes that. If you want a good example, look up the coffee commercial he made.
Is it like Ben?
No. It's more frustrating and just like,
oh, interesting.
What?
All right.
Like I said, that scene with a character bleeding on the ground after a gunshot and the old man who gives him the warm milk is 5 minutes long. And almost nothing happens. And I loved every second of it. But I was like, you know what? This is great. But man, I can tell people fucking hated this season.
That's fantastic.
Because I saw that change of like direction. It came from nowhere. I was watching a whole different show.
Yeah.
Like, what happened? Because the pacing was really tight and fast paced in the first season. And every second counted. Okay. And they wasted time for about 4.5 minutes. And I was like, this is great. I love where this is going with this. But now I get why people said season 2 isn't so hot because they didn't like that tone shift.
Yeah.
But when I finish it, I think Twin Peaks, the 3rd season, ended last night.
Yeah, so I heard about this.
I'm limited on time before I can find out the stuff that happened in season 3. Because it takes place like in real time that many years after Twin Peaks season 2 ended.
Oh.
So most of the original cast is there.
I thought you were about to say season 1 and 2.
No.
Or take to say, because that would have been funny. Like they were sitting in canon, they were sitting there for 2 years. Because who cares?
From what I understand, there's a character that sits in one place for 20 years.
All right.
Twin Peaks got weird, apparently. Weirder at the end of the 2nd season. And I want to see where the series is going.
Yeah.
Because it is kind of a shame that people are right that the mystery of who the killer is kind of gets put to the side. Because they straight up tell you what they look like and what their name is. But there's so much extra shit going on with side stories that you kind of don't care.
Okay.
Because it all leads to this it all leads to a head. And I like watching mysteries where all these little threads all do connect in some bizarro way. But doesn't feel like it's written just because it was for drama. It's written smartly for how weird it got. But I'm looking forward to it. I hope it doesn't shit the bed. Because I'm not that far into the season quite yet. But I hope it turns out good so I can at least have more hopes for season 3. when I do get to that.
That'd be nice. I know, Jesus, you have been watching me for the last 5 minutes.
Watching you finagle
Because
dingle dangle with your wingle wangle.
I messed up.
Call me Maddie B. Raps.
I messed up horribly. I had the compressor on you way too much, so you were way too low. And so I turned it down, and then you were peaking like crazy. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm trying to fix it.
Again?
Again.
Trying to fix it again?
I get it. This is why...
Audio joke.
Either I do the compression before I even press record, or don't do it at all. So I can just do it in post. Instead of having to now go back and edit and change the clips. And
I gotta do work.
Then I'm just gonna turn your compressor off. How about that?
Yeah,
there you go.
Just forget it. We'll fix it later. We'll do it post. Just like that famous quote from George Biden. That he said
for president.
That he said on BBC USA. We'll do it in post.
BBC USA right after
BBC USA
right after a Game of Thrones British edition.
Next to the Sifi, the Sifi network.
Yeah, guys. Did you ever Okay, so no.
You're talking to the audience.
Never mind.
I'm scared. When you say never mind, that means there was a string of consciousness that went absolutely nowhere. But you caught it, and that takes a lot for it to catch yourself off guard.
Oh, whoa.
Oh.
All right.
We're traveling into the future. The audio here.
This podcast, dude.
Good podcast. Time to order some Taco Bell, and the circle is complete.
What happened? What's happening?
The podcast said go to the next topic. It's screaming to us.
It's saying shut up, please.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God, let's talk about the PS3 emulator.
Yeah, talk about that because you know way more about it than I do.
It's working.
Story.
All right, guys.
So if people didn't know, there's a PS3 emulator out there.
Yeah, it's been in the development for like 2 years ish, and longer than that, but it's been working for 2 years ish, and working as in some games will turn on and then run at 5 frames, so unplayable. But
they boot.
But they booted, which was revolutionary because I always thought the PS3 was a dumb console that shouldn't have worked in the first place.
So did many game developers.
Yeah, that's why first of all, that's why I won the game. It took 2 years for it to come out after the Xbox 360, and that no games were for it in the first year because no one knew what the hell this thing was.
And the ports for it were usually almost always worse than the 360.
Yeah, their first party games were great
because they knew the hardware. And
it took a while for those games to come out. Like the Uncharted's. When did Uncharted 1 come out?
Like 2007. It was It was like an almost launch game.
Okay.
But to be fair, Naughty Dog, they have wizards who work there.
Got it.
Like look at The Last of Us, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Like look at that game on PS3.
Yeah.
And that game looks fake. It shouldn't run and look like that on the PS3.
No.
In the rare cases where
not at all.
A first party knows how to use it, sure, but PS3 hardware problems abound because it's too complex for some people.
Mm-hmm.
And weird. Just had a bunch of weird things going for it.
Yeah, I believe they invented their own coding thing, their own language,
which bit them in the ass in the long run.
Yeah, which is just
for most of the PS3's life cycle.
Well, that for me spun I don't like Sony as a company in the same way I don't like Apple because they make their stuff way too complicated. They're not consumer friendly. They're not dev friendly.
No, they learned their lesson with the PS3.
Yeah, because the PS4 is way better.
They said, guys, we're sorry. Please, and indies, we will help you. We will give you money.
Yeah.
Please, we fucked up the first time.
Yeah, and
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it paid off in the long run, I guess.
That's why they're the best selling console right now in the market.
But so the PS3 emulator is now working. There are 400 games that are running at 28 frames, which is the PS3 ran games between 26 and 30 frames. So 28 frames, it's running in the middle of that. And man, oh man, this is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it's the PS3.
It's the PS3. It's on computers. So we will soon be able to play Red Dead Redemption on PC.
On PC LAN.
On PC LAN. Guys,
I like the idea of okay, because people ask for Red Dead on PC for years.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned that one.
I like the idea that it's okay, one of those people was like, you know what, fuck you, Rockstar, and he worked on the PS3 emulator, just so he could play it on PC and on LAN.
Honestly,
because
that's one of the reasons why.
Yeah, because the LAN for Red Dead, it's the open world.
Yeah,
it just works on LAN if you want it to. If you're even going to use LAN, which you could just play the multiplayer on LAN. It works fine.
Interesting,
but Red Dead 2 is also a weird thing.
What, Red Dead 2, we don't know if it's coming out. It probably is not going to come out.
I
don't know. It may.
I'll get to Red Dead 2 in a second, but go with.
But so Red Dead isn't running well. That's still It runs.
It's an open world game, and that was a little bit later in the PS3 life cycle.
Yeah, that one's running around like 15, and it has weird texture problems.
To be fair, Red Dead was a broken game on base PS3
Yeah.
anyways, so without patches, this game is going to be kind of weird anyways.
Yeah, so there is a lot of games like that where like textures are just not loading in correctly, and they're loading into the wrong assets.
That's typical emulation errors that you have to fix.
Yeah. Well, this is still early development for something this complicated.
Yeah.
And so, but I'm saying soon, like, like within a year, there will be a playable PS3 emulator that works well, and then we can play PS3 games on PC.
Yeah.
Legally, of course, because, only get games you own, guys. Only.
Emulation is illegal if you not own the ROM or ISO you use.
Yes.
Because you own that license. Because it's like, that's the weird thing with games. When you buy them physically, you're buying the license rights on that disc only.
But no one does this, so
Some people do.
Some people do.
Some people rip their own ISOs.
This will kind of go to broader talk of emulation, which I want to talk about with you. I don't know your opinion on it as well, but so
emulation, good. That's my stance. If that's all you want from me,
fair enough. And then on the Wii U emulator, Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda. That's the order of those words.
Breath of the Child
running at 60 FPS
consistently.
Yeah,
even during combat encounters or weather changes,
it runs better than it does on the Switch.
Interesting.
Like, I mean, the Switch doesn't even hit 60, but I'm saying like it runs well. Like even in that first area, because when you first start in Breath of the Wild, it's like one of the grassiest areas in the game,
which is where the FPS dies.
Yeah, FPS, and when you're in the Lost Woods, when you're in the Lost Woods, dude. When I got to the Lost Woods on Breath of the Wild, I was like, this is 10 frames. It's a consistent 10.
It is a known, yeah. But my other question is then, if they got us to run at 60, because emulation, I know how this shit works. Mm-hmm. What did they disable in the background to make it run?
Here's my problem. Here's the thing. So emulators pre PS3 is pretty easy because the games weren't that big. If something was wrong, you could see it pretty easily.
And people can reverse engineer them much easier.
Yeah, but now we're at the age of open world games where there's too much content to scrub through.
To load.
Yeah, to scrub through and see if there's a problem.
Assets and scripts abound.
So
I can't even imagine, because GTA 5 came out on the PS3.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to emulate that.
Yeah.
That's a crazy thought to think about.
No, yeah, totally. I think it's
a
crazy.
game that gigantic.
I think it's crazy to think about Breath of the Wild emulating, because that game has a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but it's not technically taxing. That's the thing.
It is.
Remember,
it is.
Even the Switch is maybe a little bit better than like the PS3 in terms of specs.
Yeah, I would agree.
They're not quite as current specs,
no,
but it's still impressive.
No, yeah,
it's not insane to me, but it's impressive.
It's very impressive.
Just the engineering feats to do it.
No, I
that's
just
what
like
impresses me.
I like holding the thing and looking the fact that I'm playing an open world game like this in my hands is crazy. But it's running, and it's running well, and so there you go. Emulation is crazy. Crazy things are happening with emulation right now, and it's kind of amazing.
And with the digital age, not answering questions of what do we own anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Emulators are kind of a necessary thing to preserve games.
Yeah.
But then the unfortunate thing is what happens, because the PS3, you can still purchase games and game licenses digitally for the PS3. That service is still up for the PS3. You can still buy games there.
Yeah. Same thing with 360.
What is going to happen to those digital only games for PS3 only?
Yeah. See, with the PS2.
Like a thing that I'll talk about, because I have a experience with this, the Scott Pilgrim game.
Yes.
Is not available.
I've never played that game.
It's not like you can't.
I know.
On PS3 anymore.
Yeah.
You can do a weird thing where you can buy the code for it.
Yeah.
For like 360.
If you can find one.
You go GameStop. Sells the code.
Do they really?
Yes.
Interesting. All right.
But I bought that game.
Mm-hmm.
I can't play it on my PS3 because the license for the copyright expired, so they had to take it down.
Interesting.
That game is gone from me.
Yeah.
Because my PS3 that I had it downloaded to, that one died and got wiped.
Yeah. Okay.
I bought that with my money. I paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't play it anymore.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen to all those other games people don't even care about to look for like other solutions to play? That's what I'm wondering about after this emulation stuff gets better, because even devs and companies don't have the answer for that. No. They just say we're trying to keep our ecosystem alive and moving.
Yeah.
That's all they say, they repeat.
We'll see what happens.
And Microsoft is doing the better job at it for game preservation.
Microsoft, I think, is doing the best job for the future of gaming.
They're future-proofing their brand, which is very smart.
Yeah, with the whole the Windows 10 thing is awesome. Like they're trying to make the Xbox One and Windows 10 machines the same thing.
Yeah,
which is doing cross-platform play and cross-buy and all these things, which is awesome. They're total future-proofing their system.
Yeah.
PS4, I mean, they're the best for what's happening right now, but, it's Sony. They could mess up really easily if they do that.
That's what worries me.
Yeah.
About what happens to those digital-only games. How do you preserve those?
Yeah.
The only option is you have to buy consoles and download those games and just keep them away somewhere.
Yeah, put them in a safe.
And technology erodes over time.
Yeah.
Game preservation is already an issue enough nowadays for like the official video game museum. It's a hot topic.
Yeah.
And it's scary because no one really has a good answer.
There's never been a type of art like this where that's what games are. They're art.
They're a form of art.
They're a form of art.
But
civilizations beyond us are going to look back. The idea is they would look back and see what these are. But the problem is if these things don't last that long,
they can't even see.
Yeah, if they're digital only games that you have on your account, but you don't.
And that's
have on
the
your
sad thing about
console,
it, where you hear stories about like, oh yeah, we have the game design doc for like this classic Capcom game. Mm-hmm. We just threw those away.
Yeah,
because they never thought, why would people want to look at these again? They're just fucking game docs. Who cares?
Yeah,
people cared later on. They realized, but culture
there
of the
a
time,
lot of games that are like that.
They weren't respected in that way to think people would give a shit about the history of these games.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the unfortunate thing because games, for a long time and still even now, were viewed as toys.
Yeah,
they weren't viewed as like group projects.
Gavin McInnes still says, which I like Gavin McInnes, but he says video games are gay and they're for kids. And I'm just like, God damn it, Gavin. But that's a real. I know most of that's jokes for him.
It's a real attitude for some people. But
there are still a lot of people that I think he actually does think that video games are for kids, and there's a lot of people that think that. Like,
because all media and expression that is made is the basic thing. It is made for distraction for people to consume.
It's entertainment.
But that is what some people still only put games as in the general culture.
Yeah.
And that's still the problem.
Totally.
Because games have gotten much bigger, much more diverse. People who play them, people who make them, much more diverse.
And they have been for, I think, PS1 era. No, it could probably even go farther back to like N64.
You mean getting into the mainstream?
Well, I'm saying to where they are I think would be worthy of credible art. Because I think before
Super Nintendo. Calling them art, I'd go Super Nintendo.
All right, I can agree with.
Other than just simple games, I'd go Super Nintendo.
I agree with you to a point, but I think
because Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy games exist on that console.
Yeah, and the music on Final Fantasy. All right.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
yeah, I agree. All right.
Sure, NES games are pretty great, but they're kind of a little simple because of technology at the time.
Because you're right.
I'm not going to count that like those things don't matter. Like, I'm not going to say like, oh,
no, we're not putting down
the Commodore
NES.
64 or like the Atari 2600 don't matter.
No, they kind
of entered like a whole like a gigantic jump when the 16-bit era
there was nothing
around.
Before then, really. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't. It was hard to compare them to anything. They were still trying to get their footing in the door of what video games are.
But they started trying to be more than just games around the 16-bit
Or they're trying to
era.
be more than just like an arcade machine that you put quarters in.
More than just ports, more than just simple things you play.
Yeah.
Or are designed to be rented to make money for the video store.
The NES,
they tried to be more than what people thought they were.
It was Nintendo Entertainment System. It's supposed to be a thing you put in your home and your family plays. Like that was
the Nintendo.
Yeah, that's what Nintendo was.
That's what people nowadays still call game systems the Nintendo.
Yeah.
That's kind of what, but they can and have been more than that.
So emulation is,
but without emulation, for some of these even digital games, that's what I'm scared of not being able to happen. Because there are some games that in the future no one will ever be able to play ever again.
PT.
I have that game on my list of downloads for my PS4, but I don't have a PS4 when they took it down, so I cannot download it.
Yeah,
and that fucking sucks.
There are still PS4.
I've never played that game.
There are still consoles for PS4 that have PT loaded on it that sell for like $600.
And that's me.
Like, I see that all the time on eBay.
I know no one who has that on their PS4.
Yeah.
And I have no option to play it. Other than like people who remake them in Unity and stuff. But I can never play that game for myself.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
Yeah, you can't play the original thing.
Because Konami said no.
Yeah.
So that game is lost for a lot of people.
God. It still makes me sad when I think about what PT was going to be.
But it could have been. It could have been the greatest piece of anything ever made.
People are saying that like Resident Evil 7 was kind of the spiritual successor.
It's close, but not what we thought.
Well, I think calling it a spiritual successor to what PT could have been is not far from that.
Yeah, well, a lot of people took ideas from PT's demo.
Yeah, no, totally.
Which is not a bad thing.
No,
that's kind of what art and video games do.
Hold on, think about that sentence real quick because demos have been around for like 15 years. Think about it. Games have taken ideas from a demo,
From a proof of concept.
Not even.
It was called playable teaser.
Playable teaser. Yeah, teaser. It wasn't even trailer.
Yeah, teaser.
It was playable teaser. It's like a 15, 30 minute
That was
experience.
a really cool part of gaming history that a lot of people just can't physically play.
Yeah, I never did.
And that I never got to play it. I had to watch people play it.
Yeah.
And I know that's how some people like to consume games now, but I don't even have
I believe I watched Ben play it.
But
I think
that's the
he
thing.
played it.
I don't even have the option to play it.
Yeah.
So my only choice will kind of really to be if someone gets a hold of those files off their PS4 in the future, I have to play it illegally.
Yeah.
That'll be my only option. And
Yeah.
that sucks.
Totally.
That's a shame. Because Konami's just, they have the rights to it, so they can do whatever they want with it.
Yeah. It's stupid.
But luckily emulation's getting better, so let's just hope that
Exactly. Yeah.
we can get these things somewhere. Someone somewhere can get these digital files and let them be playable in emulators.
Yeah.
And look, only option.
And look, guys, don't go out. I will not endorse going out.
I'm not advising piracy for emulation.
No, for sure. Not that I've never. We've all downloaded things.
If you're a millennial boy or girl, you probably played Pokemon on your fucking phone before.
Yeah, exactly.
In your biology class or whatever.
Yeah, we've all done this. But I use piracy, whatever. I download games for demos on PC because their demos don't exist anymore. It's like I'm not gonna spend $60 in a game that I don't know if it's even gonna run. You know what I mean? So I download it, play it for like 30 minutes, an hour, and see like, okay, it works, and then I'll actually buy the thing or not buy the thing. Usually I don't, and then I just delete it. That's like most of the things I do on my PC, and it's different with like the emulator situation because it's not like you're not like gonna download it and see like, oh, do I like this game? Okay, let me buy it on my PS3. You know what I mean?
It's usually people who own the game and don't want to drag their console back out because they don't have a CRT anymore.
Oh, I did that. Yeah, well, SpongeBob Battle He Bottom. That's like the thing I do on my.
That's what I want to do for my PS1 games.
Yeah, that's fine.
I just want to just get because I have the disc. I can just get the ISOs right there.
Yeah,
I need to do it.
Yeah, totally.
Because digital libraries, it's kind of nice to have both.
Yeah.
At the same time, when you own physical and just have the file and just put it on your computer, it's nice to have both. Because discs are physical and they can break.
Yeah.
Especially PS1, PS2 discs, where they can scratch and fade to time.
Yeah.
It's not even counting like cartridges, which a lot of cartridges are dying right now. Like their parts are just dying.
They're starting
carts.
to.
Oh
God, I'm sorry, guys. Starting to like erode away. All right, before this podcast ends, let's talk about the thing that we were saying we were going to talk about and actually talk about it. Unlike we sometimes. All right, Death Note, the movie,
the game, starring Ryan Gosling,
starring Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Gosling, sex, Ryan Reynolds.
That's the subtitle. It's all that.
Yes, with the pauses and everything.
That's not the movie. Ryan Gosling, sex, Ryan Reynolds.
I'd watch it.
Would you?
I'd watch that.
Would you pay money?
I'd.
Would you emulate it?
I'll tell you this. I'd probably enjoy it more than this.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, going in, let's talk about
our initial impression of this movie.
Not even.
Oh, not even?
Well, I just want to ask you.
Okay.
When you watched this movie for the first time.
Yeah.
What was going through your head when you were about to watch it?
All right. When I was about to watch it, because Death Note,
what was your internal thoughts?
I guess there has to be some backstory to this.
Yes. Because we're both Death Note fans. We both had different opinions on this movie when it was announced.
Yeah. I was obsessed with Death Note. I go back and rewatch Death Note about every 2 years. I have no idea how many times I've watched the show because it was one of those things I'd rewatch before I started rewatching things. Yeah. So I didn't, count.
It's a start to all of this. It's patient zero.
It really is. It could have. I could have watched Death Note 10 times. Mm-hmm. That's a very high possibility. I've watched that show 10 times. Mm-hmm. It's a short show, so it's not hard.
It's like what, 50 episodes?
It's less than that. It's like 35.
Really? I thought it was like 50 something.
No.
Huh.
Yeah, it's very, very.
Well, I've only watched it once.
Yeah, 20 minutes each, like 30 episodes. It's very, very short. Mm-hmm. And it's a weird number. It's not like 12, 24, 50, It was
at the time where it wasn't just 12, 24, or 8.
No, yeah, exactly. It was like 50, or it was like 32 or whatever.
They made it until it finished.
Exactly. And that's kind of what made it good, because they didn't have like, okay, we have to finish in like this episode. So Death Note means a lot to me as an anime, as a show. It inspired my.
Did you read the manga by the way?
I did. I read the manga.
Okay.
I'm
just curious.
I read the manga, and I have 1 through 8 of the manga.
Is that all of them?
There's 12.
Okay.
There's 12, and then there's 13, which is the Death Note Bible, whatever. It's just pretty much goes off. It's character bios for all the characters.
But do you have the Death Note?
I do. I do. It's in my closet. It's although my dog
wrote in it.
And I'm dead now. He killed me.
Yeah. Killed you dead.
He killed me dead. No, he ate it, and it's all the cover's all messed up. And
then we have to write.
You know where I got it? I got it
Hot
at. I mean,
Topic?
this is super local only. I got it at that place that used to be in the mall. Oh, what is it called? There used to be an anime store in the mall here.
Wait, you mean that place that had like Hello Kitty stuff there?
No, before the Hello Kitty stuff, it used to have like cool like Naruto and like Death Note and
I don't think I ever went in it.
Yeah.
But I do remember what you're talking about.
God, I can't remember what it was called. But
Our local mall had an anime place.
Yeah, our local mall had an anime place that like went down like 15 years ago.
Because it didn't.
No,
because Hot Topic ate its lunch.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why.
Yeah, totally. Because Hot Topic was right next to it.
Yeah.
But I bought it there for like $50 probably. Honestly, like probably way too much money.
It's a novel thing to have. I want one just to have. It's
Yeah, no,
cool.
I like that I have mine, but it sucks that it's all eaten up and makes me sad. But I've seen the show. I know the show. I know I feel like I know the intricacies of each character and know how they need to react with each other, right?
Because they're deep characters.
They're very deep characters. There's a lot
going on in everyone's head.
There's a lot of development for every character. Everyone has motives, and it's important, and everyone reacts different to each other, and there's a lot of depth there. All right, so that being said, so when I knew this movie was being announced, instantly I thought, no, live action anime movie, it's going to be bad.
Quick aside, you've seen the other live actions?
Yes.
All of them, or just
the two? Yeah.
Because I know there's a K-drama or something, or some type of drama. I've seen one of the live actions and did not care for it.
I saw the two because they did the thing. The first one is supposed to be the first half of the anime. The second one's supposed to be the second half of the anime. It's bad.
I think I saw that first one and I didn't care for it.
Yeah, they're bad. They're live action anime, and most like 99% of live action anime is bad.
Yeah.
So
I would agree.
I just assumed this was going to be another bad one, and then they started announcing that they're going to have American actors and
different setting.
Willem Dafoe was going to play Ryuk, and it's supposed to be
which was the only cool announcement.
And it was and I thought it was cool. Like, and it's going to be in America, and it's supposed to be like a new story.
They're not just going to adapt it again.
Yeah, and I was like, okay,
it's been adapted a lot.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, that's fine.
You weren't hopeful. You were just, let's see what this is.
I was interested, and so but then the trailer started coming out, and I thought, oh,
and you saw future me in the trailer.
Yeah, I did. I saw future you with the hair and everything.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh no, I don't think this is going to be good. So as I sat down to watch it, laid down on this floor right here.
You were tentatively worried.
I was very worried. I was like, I don't think this is going to be good, but I'm going in hoping it's good.
Okay.
I was going in hoping it's okay.
You gave it an okay shot.
Yes, I totally did.
Okay.
And then it started. And it started with that what the hell intro.
The music choice.
The music choice was for this because this is actually an 80s high school movie. If you guys didn't know, Death Note's supposed to be.
Music choices in this movie overall are very bad.
Yes.
They're not all terrible, but a lot of it's just confusing.
I
like the ending song, which we'll get to when we get talked about the ending.
I can't. It's really hard for me. Just before we even continue, it's really hard for me to say anything good about this movie.
No, that's fine. But let's keep going where you're talking.
So that's my experience with this. Before I went, what about you?
You have a lot of stock in Death Note.
Yes. What about you?
To me, I do not.
Okay.
I watched the anime, thought it was pretty great. Never read the manga.
Yeah.
And I was like, this was a pretty good show. I never went back. I have no nostalgia for it. I just watched it once, thought it was pretty great, and then that was it. No childhood connection or
it was just like, this is a thing. It's good.
No, I'm like, oh, this anime can be pretty great sometimes, and that's what it was for me.
Totally.
That's all it was for me. Just a really good show that I liked.
Okay.
That's all it was for me.
And then when you were going into the movie,
when I was going to watch the movie, I was like, you know what? I didn't like the live action version that I saw. This can't be any worse than that because that one was pretty bad.
I thought the same thing. I was like, this can't be worse.
Like, you know what? Even if it's not good, which most of us thought it was going to be not good, I knew at least what I was going to watch was not going to be a dumpster fire like Dragon Ball Evolution because this movie has fought to even exist. The director has fought to make this thing even happen several times. He fought to keep it R. So, like, you know what? Even if it's bad, I'll at least know that there will be some effort here. So it at least won't be a waste of my time.
Yeah.
So I still gave it that.
Okay. So then we watched the thing.
Yeah, we watched
it. I can't even say. So this is more of a. I don't think there's any type of rating system that gives this movie justice. I think like even the thumbs up, thumbs down doesn't work with this movie. You can't go that simple, and I couldn't do like a 1 out of 10 type of situation because it's so bad. It's intriguing. It confuses me how bad it is because it's a weird type of bad. It's
a movie that tries to do a lot.
And when
And not all those things, some of the things it tries to do are not bad ideas.
I've thought about I've had to think about this for like 2 weeks now. And
There's a lot going on in that movie. So.
As it looks to me, like if this movie, I think if this movie had nothing to do with Death Note, there's something really cool there.
Like if it wasn't called the Death Note, and it was just a different name for it.
Different name, and there was a different way to kill people. Yes. And there we go. I think there's something interesting with this movie that could have been there. Even without the Death Note, it's still a bad movie. I will not.
Yes, I agree. This is
it's a bad, like from a technical standpoint, a bad made film. It's a badly made film.
Well, it's badly written, but not badly made.
No, it's bad.
No, okay. The shots are not poorly done. They're just
they're so boring.
No, I don't like some of the Dutch angles that they do, like some of the weird stuff they do.
Yeah.
But not
the like shots panning in from like a chair.
They're not amateur. There is a style there. The style, I don't like a lot of it, but it is not bad filmmaking.
Okay.
It's not poor. There was work put in. Technically, it's a decently made movie.
Okay.
It is not a Lifetime film. It's not made.
Okay, I'll give you that.
That's what I mean. That when you say technically bad, that's what you mean.
Okay. Yeah.
Audio and lighting and film composition and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That stuff,
you're right. You're right.
It ranges from okay.
It looked like a movie.
And to Ryuk. Ryuk is great. How he looks. You might not like his. I don't mind his redesign. But what they did to make him not look shitty, you know how they did it, right?
Like
they got a 7-foot man and put him in a costume.
Yeah, some of that. I know that some of it's practical. Like, it's not all practical, obviously, but
but
a lot of it
looked way better than I thought it was going to look.
And it looks weird. Like there's
he looks like he belongs in that space.
No, totally.
Unlike the Japanese movie where he looks like he's like green screened in.
Yeah, total blue screened in. Yeah.
Oh, it looks so bad in the Japanese movie. I looked at it again just to see what it looked like. Man, the Japanese one looks so bad.
The best part about this movie is Ryuk, but at the same time, as a Death Note fan, one of the worst parts about this movie, and that's what we have to get into.
Yes.
It's a lot of people are doing this thing where it's like they'll say it's bad and then like, okay, well you can't look at it as a Death Note movie. You can't look at it as like it's like okay.
I look at it two different ways. Those are both fair arguments.
Yeah, I understand that argument. That being said, it's called Death Note, and Ryuk's in it. Therefore,
Ryuk
Light. The characters are
Light
there.
Yagami.
No, Light Turner.
Which I'm fine with them changing that.
Yeah, I don't mind the name.
But I'm like, they explain where he gets Kira from, which is stupid. The Celtic stuff doesn't make any sense.
A lot of it's...
But okay, the Japanese thing, whatever. Him being Light is a baffling thing to me. That name being a thing, I wanted...
In America,
That was like, okay, if you want to call himself Kira, whatever.
Yeah. Name him...
But why is he called Lights?
Yeah. L's fine, because... Whatever.
Because it's just a letter.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I don't know.
That's a nitpicky thing that does not...
Yeah.
That is not the source of the film's problems.
No.
Which there are many.
Yeah.
Some really big, some really small and confusing.
Okay, let's start to get into this. How should we judge this movie? Should we judge this movie as a movie or a Death Note movie? Because there are some people who
Let's do both. Let's do both.
Because there are some people that think...
Because as a Death Note movie, it's the consensus, not good.
I would say consensus is... bastardizing what Death Note is.
So let's get into that first.
Okay, we'll get into that.
As a Light Note adaptation,
Yeah,
Death Note, well, spoilers for a thing that didn't happen in the movie.
Yeah.
It is a bad adaptation, but in some ways, I kind of like what they change. But what they change with it is not enough.
Okay.
Like one change that
What did you like about it?
That I kind of hated and then thought they could have done something cool with, but they didn't do a good job.
Okay.
Was they made Ryuk seem evil.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. The opening scene, because I'll talk about this.
Yeah.
The opening scene.
There's spoilers here, by the way.
Yeah. If you don't want to get spoiled on
this movie.
I've heard this a million times. Death Note, the original is better. Go watch that, please.
Yeah.
But if you don't care too much about the movie, we're not going to get into that much of like, we'll get into the plot of the Death Note anime later.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to ruin one of the best shows anime's ever made.
Yeah.
I recommend you probably just cut now and just come back to this later.
Yeah.
Because you honestly... You know what? If you liked Death Note, this movie is not great. This movie is worth checking out. I will say that. Just to see what they tried to do.
It's an easy watch.
It's not offensive. It's not the Ghost in the Shell movie.
Yeah,
that movie, because Ghost in the Shell is made because the brand recognition was there.
As I was watching it, I was like, okay, it's bad.
There's effort.
But I was like, I was sitting there and I was able to watch the whole thing and not want to claw my eyes out.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I didn't stop and watch.
People were giving it, people said it was that bad. I'm like, okay, they were way over exaggerating.
Yeah.
So opening scene with the iconic thing with Death Note is that main character gets it, Light.
Mm-hmm.
We'll call him Light because that's the same character in both.
Yeah.
Same name at least. in the original series, like sees the Death Note falling from the sky. Do a kind of similar thing in the movie, which I thought was fine.
Yeah. It was instead of him being in a classroom, he was just outside on a bench. Whatever.
But in this, they couldn't introduce the other Shinigami, which I totally get. That was fine because that would have took way too much time.
Yeah.
The story they were writing, there's no space for it.
No.
Sure. But they have Ryuk. I kind of, one thing I did like was that he fucked up his name. It's like, it's not Ryuk, it's Ryuk.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of that was kind of cool.
Sure.
But that's like a little small like hand. That was kind of cute, whatever. But in this, they have Ryuk make Light kill somebody.
Yeah.
They coax him into killing his first victim. But that was interesting at first because this Light, what is his last name in this one?
Turner.
They are trying. Light Turner is not Light Yagami.
No.
And I liked that idea.
Well,
because Light Yagami is a smart psychopath.
Yeah, the
Light
Yagami
will kill anyone and everyone who gets in his way.
Yeah.
And the only similarity they kind of really share is that their hubris is the reason that their downfall happens.
Yes.
In different manners, but that's kind of what they share.
Yeah.
I didn't like what they did for Light, where they did the very American trope that I hate, which is the underdog / nerd character who gets power. I hate that trope.
There's no reason for it.
I hate it.
Here's the thing. Okay. For comparison's sake,
because Ryuk in the Japanese version, which you could, you explain it because you wouldn't know. You could explain it better than I could.
Yeah. So for Light, the difference between Light Yagami and Light Turner, right? So Yagami being the Japanese, Turner being the American, obviously.
Potato chip boy.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad they didn't have reference that in this movie.
If they did, no, they did. It would have been at least 1% higher.
With the same music and everything.
Yes. Wait, with the same music overlaid on like whatever other music, so you can slightly hear it in the background.
Over Air Supply.
No, all the same audio actually.
Just
they had dubbed.
Leave the dialogue in,
and he had to like sync up his lips to the.
Okay, but explain the differences of like Light and.
So like Light Yagami, the trope or the idea of what Light Yagami is, he's a genius.
He's
like literal genius.
Yeah, he looks. His intelligence makes him.
He's bored of school.
Yeah,
he's a high schooler.
He looks down on people. The world at a certain point, but
here's how before the Death Note, he looks down on it in the sense that he's bored. He's bored with it, and he's like, okay,
he's a big fish in a small pond.
Exactly. It's like I don't belong here, and I feel like I can do something about this, or someone should do something about this. Someone like me, maybe. You know what I mean?
But how could that happen? Oh well.
Whatever. I'll just be smart and live my days as a normal human.
Which is a very Japanese way of looking at life.
Yeah. And okay, so that's Light Yagami, smart dude, and his parents, who he had two of, by the way, one of them being a cop and one of them being just a stay-at-home mom, I think.
Which the mom doesn't really matter as much as his dad in both versions.
I disagree. I think the mom actually I've heard that argument. I think the mom matters a lot in the first one because the mom, what she does is she's so supportive of him to the point where she's like he'd come home late and he'd be like, oh, it's okay, you're smart, you could, you do everything else right in life, you're fine, it's like, oh, can I eat in my room? Yeah, sure. We don't usually don't let anyone eat in the room, but you know what, because you succeed in life, you can eat in your room. Like seeing the mom reward Light so much
for his bad decisions. Well, it's arguable. Well,
that's
what makes Death Note so great. Is
bad decisions in the sense they're like normal kid bad decisions, and then she forgives them because he does so well, and it's like, okay,
so what they can see,
and it's interesting to watch that of just like
she's that perspective of like, oh, you're doing what we can see, you're just being a good kid.
Yeah, so and that's what Light is. He's a good kid, does well. That's what Light's supposed to be. Right? Light Yagami. All right, and then Light Turner, nerdy kid. Nerdy kid.
He is book smart. We are shown that he is book smart.
Yeah,
with other human beings in the streets, he's very inept. That is his version of that.
Yes, and he gets bullied, and no one respects him. See, because Light Yagami, people respect. They look at Light Yagami. He's a popular kid.
He's a model student. Yeah,
he's a popular kid.
Which in Japan, academics, also in America, but more in Japan, academics means a lot.
It totally does. He does well in school, and therefore he's a popular kid. In this, he does okay in school. He like in one of the first scenes, he gets caught
copying homework.
Doing other people's homework for money.
Copying copies of his homework to sell.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like
because their house, which they don't talk about, which I like, they didn't talk about. They're not doing so well.
Yeah.
Which that was a nice. There's some subtle details. It's like that's a cool thing.
Again, yeah.
But then why did you put in the scene where the principal just gives us the exposition dump?
Yeah, there's a lot of that weird.
There's a lot all over the movie, but we're not going to get into the
It's
too
so
much.
hard to talk about this movie because there's so much about it.
We have to skip over some stuff because there's too much.
So yeah, so the Light Yagami versus Light Turner. Light Yagami, genius kid who does well and people like him. Light Turner, smart kid, doesn't really understand the social thing, gets bullied, and people don't like him.
And is directionless.
Yeah.
He has no really big goals.
No, not really. He's just a kid in high school who just whatever.
Wants to get by.
Yeah.
And is still upset about the death of his mother at an injustice.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
his impetus.
That's his for some reason. Yeah.
Which I think is interesting.
It's interesting, but they don't portray it at all.
They don't give it any time.
No.
Because this movie gets no time to breathe.
No. And then the Ryuk thing. When Ryuk shows up.
That scene is bad. Holy crap. This actor is not a good screamer. It bordered on comedy.
Yeah.
And that's not what they were going
that
for.
Scene, right? Like they put it on YouTube instantly, and I've watched that.
Oh, that was on YouTube?
There's a video of all of the screams of that whole scene, but they cut all of his screams together.
Oh, that's funny.
And so it's just him screaming for 11 seconds.
It's bad.
By the way, he screamed for 11 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a long time.
That's why it sounds so weak.
Once that happened, because okay, look, like getting bullied, fine, whatever. It makes sense in America.
We're doing the Western idea of it.
Sure, whatever. Yeah, sure. The selling homework thing, I was like, well, that's not something Light would do, but
it's a different Light.
I can get over that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Different Light, I can get over this.
Same here.
But when he screamed like that, I think that's as soon as that happened, my thoughts on this movie was this is going to be horrible, and I don't think there's anything that can make it better.
We're not going anywhere.
There's nowhere up from here.
Yes.
There
will only be nice little upswings, but it will just keep going.
No, yeah, exactly. It brought it down. That scream brought it down so much.
That whole scene was like,
no more
this
hope.
is going to be weird.
Yeah, Light Yagami is not supposed to be afraid. When Light Yagami sees Ryuk, he says, I've been waiting for you.
Yeah, he's
Shinigami.
He's kind of like annoyed that he took so long to show up.
Exactly.
Which is like fascinating because what's really cool about the Death Note original is that series, the manga and anime, which I've read the manga, but I'll assume it's the same because the anime is so faithful from what I've heard.
It's exactly the same.
That show and the characters are 3 steps ahead of you.
Yeah.
Which it is very hard to write, which is kind of why I'm not a fan of the last couple episodes of the anime because it loses the tension that it was just because it went on a little bit too long. A little bit too long.
I know.
It doesn't end bad. You know what I mean, though.
I disagree. I think it should have went on longer because I think that they didn't give enough time for Nier. They didn't develop Nier enough. They developed L a lot.
That's the thing with it. It feels like chaos because it's written into too small of a space.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
I think
it is not bad.
Death Note should have been like because they're the split in Death Note.
Yes,
obviously, but the second half deserves
more time.
I think there should have been 3 splits. I think there should have been the regular Death Note, and then with L, and then the stuff that happened with Mello and stuff in that first arc, and then when Mello comes back to 2 years later, and like that there should have been 3 arcs there. Because
the way it feels in the end of Death Note, as it is, and which I hope will never get revisited.
Yeah,
it feels a little. It feels a little off the rails because we're not given enough time to absorb what's happening.
Yeah, and when Light messes up, am I bleeding? I am. God dang it! I'm gonna pause the podcast. My nose is bleeding, and I fixed it. All right. Let's get back to on topic of what this is. So the Ryuk, I want to talk about. I'm just gonna skip what we were talking about specifically because I went on a tangent. So Ryuk is not supposed to, in the original show, he was not the point of Ryuk was an outsider. He didn't. He observed. He thought he was always like, "Oh, humans are so interesting. Like it's just interesting to watch you guys."
Yeah.
And his goal was, "I'm not gonna interfere. I'm not gonna. You do your thing.
Let human nature take its course."
Yeah, I know what Shinigamis are like. I don't know what humans are like. So let's watch this.
It was a game to him as well.
Yeah, it was a game just to watch though. It wasn't a game to play. It was a game to watch.
Yeah.
And in this one, he forces Light to kill people,
which is kind of a problem because they don't go anywhere with that.
No,
because they have a scene where he's sitting at the table where he's like, "Did you kill those FBI people?" Remember that?
Yeah.
Which, looking back on it, again, is kind of a neat
now
foreshadowing thing.
Yeah,
but at the same time, that also makes the first scene make no sense.
Yeah, totally.
Because it
was a misdirect. So you think it's like, oh, it's actually Ryuk. Again, spoiler alert. You think it's going to be Ryuk's the one like messing with him and doing all these things to ruin Light?
Because if he was, that would have been a little interesting if they gave
more interesting than his crazy girlfriend.
Yeah, which
we'll get into.
The romance of this movie is terrible.
We'll get into that. It's stupid, but whatever. That's how I feel about this movie. Is it's stupid, but whatever.
Every time Ryuk was on screen, though, I was like, please stay longer.
Yeah, I liked looking at you.
Because Willem Dafoe, I have a soft spot for Willem Dafoe being an evil man.
Yeah.
And I think he knocked it out of the park.
No, totally.
Ryuk.
Yeah,
when I heard him laugh, I was like, this is perfect.
No, totally. He did
that dry cackle. I was like, oh man, this is the most perfect casting ever.
No, totally. Willem Dafoe as Ryuk is the best person to play Ryuk.
Yes. It's a shame that he's in a movie of this quality.
Well, it's a shame that Ryuk is what he is, and that has nothing to do with
he's
Willem
like
Dafoe.
Underused and
Well, he's written wrong. It's this suffers from writing more than anything else. I think
it has a lot of writing problems.
I mean, the acting for all the other guys isn't great either, but it's like it could have been fixed.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about. All right, we'll talk about the crazy girlfriend, and then we'll talk about Elle.
Yeah. So the main impetus of Light this time becoming Kira is he wants to impress some girl.
Yeah.
That sounds like I'm dumbing it down to like be kind of shitty and cynical.
No, but that's
essentially what it is.
Yeah,
at first, that's what it is.
Yeah. There's no reason for it other than
hey, check it out. I can murder people with my book. Man, that's hot.
Yeah.
And then there's a montage.
And then they're like, and she's like, yeah, it is. Let's bone.
Yeah.
And then they do, and then it's like,
and then
I don't know why.
And then they ruin the best part for me of Death Note by putting it in a montage
of people voting.
Yeah, that part too. No. When he first starts killing people.
No, yeah, totally.
That intrigue is fascinating to me, and they just kind of took all of that away, and they skipped to the cat and mouse.
Yeah. Okay. Well, again, we'll talk about the Elle thing, but the whole girlfriend thing of her being like
Misa. That's her name, right? That's the girl's name
in the original. It's Misa. I think they named her Mia in this one.
Whatever her equivalent, Mia. The girl in this, Misa's equivalent.
Yeah.
She is kind of. Well, we're talking about spoilers again. She's the villain of this.
Yeah, no, she's totally the villain of this.
And it felt kind of shitty.
It really was because her motivation was. I think Ryuk's motivation's way more interesting than hers. Even though because Ryuk's would be if he was the villain, it would be.
I want to feed souls for my Shinigami pals.
Yeah, I'm a death god, and it's in the name. His motivation's in the name.
And what's kind of cool, there's a scene, which is my favorite scene in the movie. They show Ryuk in history.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of a neat way to go more into that.
He's been around, and the fact that the Death Note's already been written in and it's
in different languages.
Don't trust Ryuk,
that's kind of cool.
Exactly. Yeah, I was like, all right, whatever. Her motivation for being a villain is I'm crazy.
There's not really anything there for her.
And again, another example of like you were saying of just like it sounds like we're dumbing it down, but no, she's crazy. Yeah, that's her motivation.
Because Misa, well, she's not as smart as Light in the original.
No,
but the reason that she doesn't cause problems is because Light keeps her under her thumb.
Well, but and she's actually smart.
She's competent.
Yeah. And she's an above average intelligence.
And they try to do the inverse here, where Light he's dumb in this.
He's
dumb. But
he's an average intelligence.
Well, he's dumb for the power that he has.
Yeah,
which isn't a problem. The inverse isn't the problem. It's the fact that the person supposed to be like the smart one in this at first has no reason for her actions.
No,
it's just. Well, that's cool. We can do something big. Why do you care?
Yeah.
What injustice? Because she says in one line, I was nothing until this book came in. We didn't see that happen.
No.
We're just told that happened at some point.
It's one of the biggest again, I'm not like a writer or anything, but like
it's a big
in my opinion, the way you can tell if something's written well is if the story shows it to you or tells it to you. That's why Game of Thrones is considered one of the best things ever, because it doesn't tell you that Tyrion is a drunk and has sex with whores. It literally shows him drinking, having sex with whores. That's his thing.
You can tell in a piece of work. That should not be the only way you deliver information.
It shouldn't even be the main way.
No.
Like 90% should be showing.
If you're doing a visual medium like a movie or film, movie or TV show, they're the same thing.
A film.
Yeah. They are visual experiences. They should be told that way primarily.
Yeah. And that's not what this was.
No, not for her motivation. It just felt so weird.
It was because his motivation is like, okay, well, and
it just happened to him.
Yeah, and so he doesn't want that to happen to anyone else.
Fight for the little guy.
Yeah,
that's his idea.
Yeah, which is like, I think they underdeveloped that motivation, but it was there.
It made sense.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Hers, I don't know what it was.
It felt like she was like almost a chaos god in of herself.
No, totally.
Which was like just written in to be a problem.
Yeah.
Or to cause problems.
It felt like she was retconned in and then ended up being the villain. Which is like, wait, you can't retcon in a villain. No.
It's just, she feels really bad in this.
All right, let's talk about Elle, who I think is...
He's pretty good.
Oh, wow. Okay. I guess
the actor.
All right.
The actor's pretty good. And some of Elle's scenes are pretty good.
I disagree.
There are writing problems in it, but for what the actor did and what they try to do with Elle and adapting him, I think he's decent.
I think L is another example of you did it wrong. You did it incorrectly. L's supposed to be L's climactic moment.
See, that's the thing. You're sticking too much to it has to be like the adaptation.
I'm not saying it has to be, but the problem is okay, I'll explain. So L in the original, he's calm, collected, and
Bull, bomb, and belected.
Huh?
It's bull, bomb, and belected.
Yes, bull, bomb, and belected, and he's smart, and he's cunning, and it's a weird type of confidence.
They do two of those things. The important thing is him being intelligent.
Yeah.
They don't show that off.
No. Well, okay.
And that's my biggest problem with L.
I think, this L, because the original L was hands off, right? He did it. He was the all-seeing eye and had his pawns do everything for him. And he told people what to do, and they did it, and it all worked out because he's a genius. This L is, we see him. That's how we're introduced to him.
Yeah.
We see him at a crime scene. Like,
on the scene, him being on the scene was stupid.
It totally was, because this L is it was stupid if you're comparing it to the two. I think it's fine for this thing. It's like, okay, this L is more hands-on and he does his own thing and whatever. All right, fine. But the thing that upset me the most is towards the end when he got mad.
Oh, when he breaks down?
He breaks down.
I thought that was fine for the non-adaptation critique.
Well, here's why I think it's bad for the non-adaptation critique. It's because they play it. It's like the show. It's like the movie tries to tell you that this guy is not going to do that. It feels like that, and then he does that, and it's like, that's not what was supposed to happen. Like, if you're going to be irrational like that, build up to it. They didn't build up to it. It was just like, all right, I'm calm and collected, and I'm on the scene, whatever. And then all of a sudden, I break down. It's like, what? Why? That's not what you were supposed to do.
This movie's too crushed.
Totally. Yeah.
It should have been a miniseries instead.
Fine. I would
to give it at least more time for things to make sense.
If this is a 6-episode miniseries, I think
it would have been better.
I think it would have been better.
Because there's a lot of questions.
I don't know.
I think it would have been worse. It would have had a better chance to do something interesting.
Some of those things could have been easily
because
out.
I like the L actor. I think they did it.
Yeah, I like him too. I think,
and there's the scene that I really like with L, which was totally different from the original series, and has one metaphor that I don't like, but I like the scene, is when L and Light are in the cafe together in the rain, and Light tries to make a deal with L.
Yeah.
I like that kind of twist on when L confronts Light in person.
Yeah.
I like that idea. The only part of it that it was a little thing was when he tries to do the clever line of, "You flew too close to the sun, I don't want to see you burn."
Yes.
It's a good line, not for this character in either version.
I think it's a bad line. Just in general.
No, it could have been a good line for a different film.
Sure, I hate cliches, but whatever.
That's the only time I've ever heard that Icarus metaphor be kind of interesting.
Interesting. No,
that's for me. Like, I haven't heard that line in a while. So
right.
You're trying to make
I think it's too.
You're trying to write it. It's a little too obvious.
It's too on the nose for what. It's like, yeah, that's what Light is. That's the story of Death Note. Is he flies to that's. You don't have to tell me that that's what's going to happen.
At least he didn't make the Adam and Eve thing in words.
Sure. Still.
It wasn't really. It was. No, I'm still saying it's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. But I like that scene a lot because we finally got to see L do what people like from the originals, and what makes him an interesting character is you get to have that feeling of he knows more than you do.
Yeah.
But then
that was great.
But then you have that counteracted by what he does before that scene where he assumes that Light won't want to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how do you know that?
Yeah.
Because what always happened in the original series, which I think is also detriment to the original when trying to do something different, is that it is always L, what I talked about, is 3 steps ahead of you. And you always go, L, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And then he's like, you know what? No, idiots. Let me explain what I'm doing. And it makes you feel dumb. Also like, wow, L, how did you figure that out?
Yeah.
It impresses you.
But the dynamic between...
Because L, if me and you both know Death Note, L does some crazy shit.
No, totally.
That, like, one of his favorite tricks is when he tricks Light into signing his name. That blew my mind, how he managed to figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
But you get none of those clever moments with L whatsoever.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest problem with L in this. You don't get the clever, he's way ahead of Light and the police people, and he explains what he does. You don't get that. And that sucks.
Well, here's the dynamic between L and Light is...
the best part about Death Note.
Exactly. But
to make Death Note good.
L thinks 4 steps ahead, and Light thinks 3 steps ahead, but because L thinks so far ahead, what causes L's whatever, we did spoiler. What it causes L's downfall is the fact that he thinks too far ahead. It doesn't look about what's happening right now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what
because Light, by contrast, kind of he gets on like when he outwits L one or two times, he gets on kind of like a victory like high of like, you know what, he's not gonna do this because I won the first time.
Who, L or Light?
Light is like, Light's like, I won this time. L's not gonna think of this. I won.
And then L does something, and but what
and what makes it cool with both of them thinking that way is that the way Death Note's written so smartly is that it is a count and math game, sure, of like a killer catch and a detective.
Oh, that's what it is. But it does
but what makes it, I think, what appealed to me and I think a lot of people is that when you're watching the series, just from beginning to end, because L's really early on.
Yeah.
He's the main character. There's two ways to think about Death Note when you're watching it. You're rooting for L to win and catch Light, or you're waiting for L to fuck up and you're waiting for Light to succeed because you believe in his values. Because Death Note is about the question of what is real justice.
I disagree. Well, sure, I think the show tells you that, but I think what the real thing is just, it's a Breaking Bad thing. It's not like it's like you want Walter White to win, not because you think he's right, but you think because we
think his solution is better.
No, it's not even that. I think it's more, I don't even think it's a matter of agreeing with them. I think it's more of, this is the character I want to win in this story. They're bad, yes.
That seems too simple for Death Note, though.
Well,
like that idea of just like, I like them better, so I hope they win.
No, but that
feels too simple.
It feels. I know what I know what you're saying.
Thought of it that simply.
No, I think that's how people thought of it. But
they just thought Light was cool, so they rooted for him.
It was more than
they had to have agreed with him.
Well, it's more of just the cool thing. It's more than just he's cool. I thought of it more of. This would be an interesting twist if the bad guy wins. In such a horrible way.
But the thing
is, he's a horrible person.
Some people will argue that Light isn't totally a bad guy.
Okay, I'm not saying that.
That's what I mean.
I'm not saying your argument doesn't exist, but that's not what I thought the majority of the arguments were. I've seen that argument before. It's like, well, Light's actually, he's killing bad guys. Why is that a bad thing? Yeah. That's the whole thing.
Because they make a distinction in this one where Light draws a line for who he kills.
Yeah.
And the original, he doesn't do that whatsoever.
Eventually, no.
He kills like a politician, like a guy on live is like, all right, I'll make your move.
Yeah.
Which fucks him over because he's a dummy and he got too confident. But him doing that action shows that Light in the original, he has no qualms about who he will kill to get his final results. And they try to change that by making it more of they try to make it more morally gray in this.
Yeah.
But it feels hollow. With okay, I'll kill bad people, but I won't kill cops or my own father to make myself not be caught. Yeah, they made this. This Light feels less. This Light is not a psychopath. No.
Well, he's a psychopath, but he's not like.
He doesn't laugh insanely.
It's a different. He's not a narcissist. He's not a narcissistic psychopath.
He doesn't call himself.
He doesn't call himself a god. He didn't say, "I'm going to be the god of this new world."
They say we're like a god, but they never say, "I am the new god of this earth" or whatever.
Light's
in the new one.
Light in the original one. His quote is, "I am the god of this new world."
Yeah, and I will rule it because he
not I'm going to be I'm like is I am the god of this new world
because he sees his way of viewing punishment as just,
not just but ultimately just.
Yeah, this is the ultimate truth. People will fall and be alive because of me. And L goes, no, that's bullshit.
It was way more.
Why is it your choice?
Yeah, it was way more advanced than this Light.
Yeah,
this Light is more of just bad people. They need to go,
and they didn't go anywhere with the who will I kill and not kill. Yeah. And there's a weird thing. I don't know if you caught this or if I'm overlooking this. When they're showing that montage of who Light's killing. They're showing terrorists and other countries.
Yeah.
Because it's been a long time since I've seen Death Note originally, so correct me if I'm wrong. When they're showing Light's montage, because there's a kind of a montage in the original, but not as bad or stupid.
Yeah, in the first one there's
it's like a short little
and there's a different montage in the movie version. So because they made a thing called Relight, which is a rewrite depending on where you get it from.
Okay.
But it condenses. There are two movies, and each one condenses the first half and the second half into a 2.5 hour movie. With some different scenes and some things.
Is it interesting? Is it good, or is it just different? Like a director's cut kind of feel?
It's not. Watching that, looking back, I don't think there's a possible way to make Death Note into a 2 hour thing.
Yeah, because there's too much.
Too much. So it has those problems. It's it's skipping around. I suggest watching it.
Just to see what these things are different.
Okay, here's how I suggest watching Rewrite or Relight, whatever. Watch the series of Death Note, right? Wait 1.5 years or 2 years, and then watch Relight.
What if I die before that happens? Then I will never see Rewrite.
Well, who? It's fine.
I care. I want to be alive.
All right, then watch it then. God.
Okay, but back to my point.
Yeah.
Of the original series, when he shows Kira's first victims in Japan.
Yeah.
He's murdering people in Japan that he sees on the television station.
Yeah.
Only people in his country. That's all he cares about, at first, at least.
Yeah.
But in
specifically people in his region.
Yeah, like politicians and like criminals on TV.
Yeah.
Which they kind of do a bit like that in the opening of the movie. But when they show who he's killing in this one, he's killing people worldwide at first.
Yeah.
And I kind of got the vibe, maybe I'm overstepping what he's trying to do because there's a lot of ideas running around. So I think maybe this is one of the ideas he's going for. The Death Note in this is kind of like a weird metaphor for like American military into the world.
I think you're looking into
because they show like an ISIS leader and shit.
Yeah, I know what you're.
And like they have like other countries worshiping like the name Kira, and I'm like, this feels because normally when I see like modern terrorism shit in movies, I roll my eyes because they're just going like, trying to be too modern.
Yeah, and also,
but because of how many things are trying to fit in this movie that does not work together at all.
No,
how many things are trying to run and what they're trying to do and not do.
Specifically,
I think that's like an undercooked idea that they just left in there for some reason.
Maybe
that's what it feels like.
Maybe I'm not gonna say that.
I'm not gonna say it's right either. Like
yeah. Maybe
I got that vibe. I'm like, are you trying to do something here? Because you might be because you left so many ideas half unfinished here.
Yeah.
Because they even show in the montage because when they even until the end of like Death Note Japanese version, people are worshiping Kira they praise him in silence.
Yeah.
Not till the very end they go, you know what, Kira's a cool dude, and it becomes public for the public to acknowledge Kira as like we like this person. But in this version of the American, they show like Kira's name and graffiti. They like vigils.
People like him like instantly.
So it's like a kind of a reverse of like it's a Western look at intervention on other people's behalf.
Just do it quickly type of thing.
Yeah. Like at the end of the movie, he even says like, I was trying to kill some bad people, which feels like a very ham-fisted way of how people say the military's trying to do good in other countries after World War II. It feels ham-fisted. That's why I think it might be right.
Maybe.
Because it feels shittily written.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it might be true.
Maybe. I don't know.
If it's not, that's fine. But it's like, why would you even leave the possibility open for that? Like, why would you have him killing people around the world instead of just in the US? Why would this version of Kira go so far? There's no like character reason for it, so it has to be like a metaphor. And if it's not that, then why did you put that thing?
Yeah.
It makes even less sense if it's not that.
Yeah, totally.
Because why are you killing terrorist leaders?
Yeah, there's no
Unless
point.
you're doing some weird American metaphor for it.
Yeah,
which if it's the case, man, that's shitty.
Yeah,
man, that's ham-fisted.
Really, yeah, really. For this movie,
you could have done that if that was like the whole movie's focus, but you didn't.
No,
you crapped out like 10 ideas.
Yeah,
because this movie is really the problem with it. I think it's a problem with any anime live action. They want to do something different, which I wanted more of. But they also can't do too much different because they'll fuck up adapting it for the fans who care.
Well,
and they didn't find the balance this time. I don't think
here's the thing.
For Death Note, I don't think there really ever is.
If you're going to do, I think this could have worked if they did a 6-episode miniseries, each episode being like an hour long.
Yeah.
And work harder if you're going to do the differences, right? Because there are interesting differences in this. You know, we've said our things, and
like him being closer to his dad, and
and
environment change, and
being maybe evil, and
or at least
Light
kind of
being kind of a nerd and getting picked on. There are certain things there
that can be developed.
The high school setting,
which they totally forgot about till like one scene at the end of the movie.
Yeah, no,
they forgot about it entirely.
Well, I don't think so. I think it feels like a high school movie.
But they forgot the high school part.
It kind of reminds, I know what you mean.
Like they have the high school characters, not the high school drama.
Yeah, it reminds me of like the Spider-Man thing. It's like, oh, let's make this a high school thing. But with Spider-Man, it was like they put a good movie in there also.
And also that makes sense thematically for Spider-Man.
Yeah, it makes
his whole thing's about being a young person having to split responsibilities.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, Light's whole thing wasn't.
There was never a point in Death Note where he's like, "Oh shit, I got my exam tomorrow. I better kill this guy fast."
Yeah,
that was never a problem.
If they did, I would have been fine with.
I mean, you know what? That's kind of interesting. Sure, go with the vigilante by night kind of deal or whatever.
Yeah,
sure, go with that.
And like I'm saying, like if this was a 6-episode miniseries and they worked harder on the changes,
give time to breathe,
give it time to breathe and be good.
This movie is just crushed into this under 2 hours.
Yeah, it's like an hour and 20 minutes.
Bad, the pacing.
It's
with the edits, it just feels like there's not enough space for anything in this movie to feel interesting.
It moves, when we're on the final scene, I looked at the time where I was at Netflix, and I was like, oh, this movie's about to end.
I was like, wait, it's over?
Yeah. And I was like, this is how you're going to climax this?
Yeah.
All right.
We're doing a chase scene.
Yeah.
And we're also breaking a rule of the Death Note. at the very end of the movie,
which is
where they're breaking the environments to cause a death.
Yeah.
They broke that kind of.
Again, another thing of just like
another theme of there's too many rules, which they say a lot in the movie, and they just break one of them. Yeah, they just don't talk about
What's another thing is like, okay, like if you're gonna have Ryuk change the world like this, then do it. Like, then actually have Ryuk be evil. Fine.
Yeah. Which I would have thought would have been fun, honestly.
Because
Ryuk in the original is just like he's chaotic neutral. That would be his alignment on a D&D chart.
Yeah, if
he's a sarcastic, bored asshole.
Well, here's the thing.
That's what makes you like Ryuk.
There's only like 3 times where Ryuk as a character is useful. And that's the fact that no one can see him, so he looks for cameras.
Yes.
The fact that they have to worry about him eating apples.
Which
is funny, right?
It's more of a gag than anything.
And then the fact that he needs to be there to figure out when there's another Shinigami around. Like, that's pretty much, like, if you take away, and which all those 3 things, by the way, aren't important.
No. If
Ryuk wasn't in the original Death Note, like, I mean, if Ryuk was there but never really hung around, which he really didn't.
No, he was kind of just, like you said, he was an observer. He just watches.
But I'm saying if you took away the character Ryuk, also my mic sounds really weird right now and I don't know why.
Fix it on post.
Yeah, maybe. If you took out Ryuk in the original one, the show still happens.
It could have, yeah.
This doesn't, because that ending scene doesn't happen without Ryuk.
And then I think my biggest problem with the ending scene, which I really hated, is that we discussed, and many people have repeated before us, the light in this movie is dumb. That is not a bad thing. He's not
smart.
That's not a bad thing. Him being dumb is not a bad thing as a character.
Sure.
But for this movie to make any sense, it makes the ending makes you go, wait, how?
Yeah.
Because the really cool shit about Death Note is how they'll go, wait, he's alive or he did this, and then they'll explain it to you and be like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah, and it makes sense.
And they do that in this movie once with Light being the person who does that. But we've already established Light is not smart enough to do any of that stuff.
No, for him to defeat L, you know what I mean, or to get out of that situation,
to survive in that situation,
in that situation against him shouldn't have happened.
No, because he's not established to be that smart.
No,
or at least the steps should not have been as complex as they were.
Yeah, totally. But they were really complex.
Because that part was like, oh, that's kind of neat. You try to be complex here. This doesn't fit with the movie.
No, if that was
L doing it. If we got one scene of L doing that, I would have been way more satisfied.
Like if that scene happened, if that happened in like the end, like if this was like a 6-episode miniseries, if that scene happened at the end of episode 1, then this would have made sense.
That would have been a great lead into another episode.
Yeah, totally.
Like, holy shit! Wait, L's smarter than we think he is, or
Light's smarter than he's.
Light's smarter than we think he is, or he learned.
Yeah,
he
totally.
Was fucking up.
Yeah, and you can do that
because the way Death Note kind of starts, which I kind of didn't like at first, but it's not a bad thing, is that he's just so smart he never fucks up in the beginning. But I kind of would like to see like a guy who kind of fumbles with the Death Note a bit, because we hear about Ryuk saying like, yeah, other people made mistakes with the Death Note before.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, with Light, instead of making mistakes, he does tests and learns about the Death Note,
which is really fun to watch.
It's fun.
It's a delight to watch him do that.
Well, because they do. It's a smart thing of exposition of just like, let's learn how the Death Note works, not by telling us how the Death Note works, but showing us. Light is practicing and saying, all right, what can it do?
Oh, what are the limits? Because of course he would.
Of course he would.
It makes sense for the character, and also it's really good to tell the audience
exactly
what does this do.
Yeah, because why
Death Note is very so smart.
Like the Death Note is very complicated,
but not overly complicated.
Not overly complicated, but I mean,
which they tried to go for in this movie by going. They had the line, "So many fucking rules."
Yeah, it's not like that. Yeah, they say it as if it's like
a bad thing.
Well, they say it as if that was a thing that people talk about.
It wasn't.
Like it felt like it was like, wait. I don't remember hearing that on the Reddit thread. No. I don't remember a Tumblr thread about how complicated the book was.
Because the Death Note isn't complicated. It's just written with so many rules to make the story make sense with the reality that we're given with the Death Note.
They have, because the Death Note
to keep it within some type of believability.
It's super OP. Yeah. And they have to kind of dumb it down, or not dumb it down, but give it boundaries.
Because the basic rules of the Death Note are very simple.
Write a name and they die.
You see someone in your mind.
Yeah.
You know their face. You see them in your mind. You know their face. Write their name. Write cause of death. They die.
Yeah. And if you don't write cause of death, they die in a heart attack, which they didn't really do.
And the reason they write rules is to, one hand, to stop loopholes, and the other hand, as a smart way to write it, if you didn't know, to make loopholes happen.
Yeah. No, totally.
It's a double sword.
There's so much
it's a double-edged sword that is brilliant.
There's so much purposeful loopholes in the show.
But as a viewer, you're like, oh, of course they wouldn't let you do that. But wait, what if you do this? You're not thinking like that because you're not the writer.
Yeah.
It's the best part about a good mystery or a good, because it's a thriller.
Yeah.
It's a detective thriller.
Death Note is definition of thriller.
But it's one of the best written, period.
Yeah.
Not manga, anime, just
no, it's
ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, totally.
It's so smart.
Okay, another one, like, to compare Shutter Island's. I like Shutter. Do you like Shutter Island?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
It is Inception's way better forefather.
Yeah, Inception sucks.
No, it's not.
Oh, I hate Inception.
I hate how overrated it got, but it's not a bad movie. I like it.
I am bored when I watch Inception.
I've seen it. I've only ever seen it once.
Okay.
To be fair.
I've seen it like twice.
I saw it's a good movie. It's not that complicated or that interesting, but it was entertaining.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, but
Shutter Island's like a way better version of what people thought Inception was.
Totally. Shutter Island, I think, is super underrated.
Yes,
because
totally.
There are so many scenes where, like, this like the scene I always look back at is I swear this is going to relate in a second.
But be vague about it, just so in case people want to watch a good movie that nobody ever saw.
Well, this isn't a spoiler.
Okay,
but there's a scene where one of the inmates is drinking a glass of water.
I know which one you're talking about.
And then it cuts away, and then it cuts back, and she doesn't have the cup anymore.
Yes.
And it's like, and you don't notice it unless you've seen this movie 5 times.
And you're looking for it, desperately.
And you're looking for it.
You're scrambling
There's
for
a lot of scenes like that where you're like, and it's such a thing where like the camera, like the way it's shot, it shouldn't, like your eye isn't supposed to catch that.
It's not drawn to it.
It's like it's faded out in the background, and you're not supposed to pay attention to it. Yeah, totally unfocused, and you're not even supposed to pay attention to it, but it's there, and they did that on purpose. The reason I bring up Shutter Island of a thriller is it's a good example of what a thriller is, right?
Yeah,
like
of how to write one,
of how to write a thriller, which is more of you have to be suspenseful about it.
Yeah.
There has to be some sort of risk in the characters, established risk though. Like you have to be like, okay, these are the things that can kill this person or end this person or stop this person.
Or here's where they can mess up.
Here's where they can mess up. So watch them try to stumble their way not messing up. And Shutter Island did that very well.
Yeah. But at the same time, you also have to have a character or two never show their full hand.
Yeah.
Which is what makes Death Note so fascinating. Because you're following both the main characters, and you don't know what they can do next. Both of them.
Yeah, totally.
That's really fun.
But
in this, it was just he's a good detective, I guess, because they told us one time.
Mm-hmm.
And
Light's smart,
and Light's a dumb guy.
Well, here's the way the movie talks to you is Light's a smart guy, I guess, and L's a smart guy, I guess.
But smarter.
And so
but we get no proof of that or no interesting scenes with that.
Yeah.
We got a hint of it in the cafe scene.
Yeah.
But nothing more.
No.
And that bummed me out. Because I saw that and I was like, you know what? The scene has problems.
Mm-hmm.
But they could have, maybe we can get a bit more out of L, at least in this movie.
All right, we're over an hour and a half.
Yeah. But it's Death Note.
I know.
Kind of means a lot to people.
I knew we were going to go into this a lot.
That's why we saved it to the end so that people can just stop.
Yeah.
They don't care about Death Note at all.
But I think we've torn apart this movie fairly well.
Yeah, we could do it more, but no, we'd be here all night.
Yeah, I try to focus on like the things that, the specific characters and
I kind of wish this movie was more bad so I could have laughed at it.
Yeah.
Because this movie makes me sad because I can see where they tried.
I did not know that the history of this movie being made.
Yeah, the director gave a shit about this movie.
Yeah.
They were trying to say something with this movie.
Looking back, I can see that. I can see that there was
effort here, and
it's just
if they could have, if they didn't give a shit, they could have just CG'd Ryuk.
Yeah.
Would have saved way more money.
Well, there's a lot of things they could have done if they didn't really care, They wouldn't have gone through the trouble of doing
this movie, period.
This movie.
They fought for it several times. It got canceled at one point.
Yeah. And
fighting to keep it rated R.
There are things, the rated R thing. There are things you can tell watching this is just like there's some.
It's misguided, but it's not.
There is a charm that is there.
Because I was afraid of it being just they shut out this movie because it's just people know Death Note is.
Yeah. It's a weird thing where like it's a bad movie that has charm to it.
There's a little bit of heart in it.
It's there. And whoever is, what has the director done? Like, what has he done?
I don't know.
Okay. If he hasn't done anything, I want him to do something and I want to see what he does.
See, because watching this movie, because I forget we talked about it. They're adapting a One Piece live action.
I don't care.
Thing. No, that's the thing. Think about One Piece, what that series is.
Yeah, there's no way.
It is pirates with superpowers.
Yeah. And they're like weird creatures.
And they haven't gotten to a live action, keep this in mind, TV show.
Interesting.
I'm way more scared for that. Because Death Note, it is a almost impossible task, it's not impossible to adapt Death Note in a different thing that is not anime or manga.
Yeah, because Death Note,
it is hard, not impossible.
It's rooted in reality.
Yes, that's why.
And
but if this is what happened to Death Note,
what makes Death Note hard is that it's written so.
It's detail rich.
Well, it's written so meticulously.
Yes.
There's so much thought into every action that every character does that
a movie is not enough.
You can't. It's when you adapt it. If you're gonna try to condense those or change them, you have to really do your homework and figure out, okay, why would the character do this?
Yeah.
All right.
It's a bummer, but
okay. Yeah, I don't want to.
It wasn't as bad as I thought.
Wasn't as bad as I thought. I will say this. Yeah, watch it if you like Death Note. Just to see
Ryuk.
Just to see Ryuk. Because Willem Dafoe did a goddamn good job.
And at least they made Elle squat weird and eat candy.
Yeah, that's fine.
I like that they even gave a shit about that. Because they didn't have to.
No, totally.
I appreciate him in his weird room eating like handfuls of candy.
Yeah.
And not wanting to sleep. They tried. They failed, but I'm not happy that it's bad, but I'm satisfied that they tried at least a little.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling. I don't think I've ever.
It's a bittersweet, but more bitter than sweet.
I don't think I've ever had this type of feeling when watching a show.
Never
Anything.
Never
or
for
a movie or whatever. Yeah. Well, just anything. Because it's just like, I expected it to be okay. It ended up being really bad. But
not in ways you thought.
No, not in ways I thought. Because, man, it almost wasn't.
Yeah.
It almost wasn't horrible.
Yeah, there was some parts where I was like, oh, you're going somewhere cool with this.
Yeah. I think that's the best. That's the best I can give this movie.
Yeah.
Is because I could have given it. I did. When I first watched it, I was like, this is a pile of garbage.
Yeah, but I was like, let's see where we go with this.
Yeah, when I first, once I finished the movie, that was my first thought, was like, this is horrible. I hate it. But as I started thinking about it more, I was like, it's not.
It's worse in ways you didn't know, but then better in ways you
totally.
hate it too much.
It's complex.
This would be a fun movie to study for how to make a film.
Yes, dude, totally. This needs to be in a film class because, yeah, totally.
Because this movie isn't all the way bad.
No.
There are some cool parts there's that one really cool shot where they're in the club in Tokyo and it's Elle walking through the neon hallway. Like, that's a cool shot.
Totally.
There are some neat little things here.
Yeah.
This is not like a dumpster fire. This is not a Dragon Ball evolution. This is
not an Avatar.
This is not an Avatar, which I was afraid of it being that, and I would have cried if it was that. Because holy shit, what would have been the equivalent of like the Earthbender scene for this movie? Do you remember the Earthbender scene?
No.
They do a bunch of complicated martial arts, and they just like have like small rocks levitate slowly towards them.
I think Elle. No, would have been of Watari throwing little pieces of candy into Elle's mouth.
Oh God, yeah.
I think that's what it would have been.
And they played it as like a comedy with like wacky music in the background.
They played Queen in the background.
They played Don't Stop Me Now in a montage.
No, they played Skrillex in the background.
Not even new Skrillex, old like Bangarang Skrillex.
Yes,
like that era of like Bro Step 2011.
Yeah, well, it's funny because that's not old Skrillex. That's like. That's the generation right after Old Skrillex, which is way worse than Old Skrillex.
Yeah.
Like the generation after Old Skrillex is way more frustrating.
Also, just one dumb thing before we leave.
Mm-hmm.
He had a fucking thing in his locker that said "Normal people scare me."
Dude, dog, why do you remind me of that? I remember when I saw it.
I saw a screenshot. I was like, "That's fake. Fuck you. That's fake. That's too dumb for this movie." And I went, "Oh no."
I wanted to punch everything.
It made me so sad. I was like, guys, I will bet you a producer made them do that.
Totally.
And that made bum me. I was like, fuck's sake.
No, yeah, that was a executive decision of hey, let's make sure that we can appeal to the
new Hot Topic crowd.
To the new Hot Topic crowd. And it's like, don't.
By referencing a shitty show.
All right. Bye guys.
Bye guys. L is justice.
Kill me.